and welcome to this month's version of Talking with the Center of the Universe. Today I have all the way from Finland, Tatu, aka Mesak.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
A very short introduction. Yeah, there's a lot of people clapping.
Oh, sorry, it's taking a...
It's all right. A very short introduction, but I should let you do the talking. You've been producing music for a long time.
Yes.
How did it all start?
Before I forget, I have to say Susu sent hello. I
Aha,
didn't say that yet.
Yeah. Is she watching?
I hope so.
Yeah, hello Susu. Yeah.
I was... it's a good question, because I remember doing some stuff as a kid already, like quite young age. Not only with Amiga or PC computers, but also tape dubbing with 2 tape machines, acoustically dubbing from tape machine to other and making something there. 2
tape machines?
Yes, like just simple, like
you played out of one speaker of the
out of from
tape
speaker.
machine?
I tried to multi-track in that way. I don't know how I learned to do that, but I got this idea maybe from hearing tubular bells or something like this, where I heard that he's been playing all the instruments by himself, and I think it was quite fascinating idea, and maybe there I learned about multi-tracking. And then I tried to do something like this with just like acoustic recording from a boombox to another. So that's maybe the earliest.
It must be a great sound.
Yes,
or,
of course.
Or a bad sound, maybe.
Yeah, it's good. It's an amazing sound. But this is maybe late 80s or something like this.
Yeah, but then you continued from the 2 tape players to a 4-track?
I got this open reel tape machine actually from my grandmother. They moved and they didn't want to bring it because they didn't use it anymore. And then I found that it has like possibility to use as a 4-tracker, 4 times mono.
Aha.
And there I had something. I tried to make loops of vinyl by pressing pause each time and rewinding and recording and making some stuff. I don't think I have any of those left anywhere.
No.
But this is like the earliest music.
Because you are one of those producers that I really like that actually doesn't play an instrument.
No.
That's that's interesting. I think that's in common with some of my favorite music producers.
Right.
That they are actually not musicians. In the first place, they became musicians with making the studio.
Yeah, I was fascinated about the like producing or the machinery and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And then later on, from PC trackers, we moved on. Actually, I met my partner in Mr. Velcro Fastener, his name is also Tatu, of course.
Yeah,
so we
make it a little confusing.
Yeah, and then with him we started using actually real instruments, which were synthesizers and Atari computer, which he got from his father. He had a big studio in middle of Finland, and when we had a school holiday, we traveled also to that studio, and we got permission to use the studio in the nighttime when he didn't make any. He was making commercials for radio and stuff like this. But in the nighttime, we were young and we were awake all the night, and we were. I don't remember the model, but there was a huge Soundcraft mixer and a lot of synthesizers and all this stuff. And imagine like trying out what does AUX mean or what does this EQ do, and we're learning by that.
You got access to
real
professional
studio.
That's amazing.
This was maybe
how old were you?
Teenager, maybe 15, 16.
That's interesting.
Like this. And some of these tracks actually have been released afterwards.
Really?
As a Mr. Velcro Fastener album called Tales of Miletos.
That's the start of Mr. Velcro Fastener. The title is
something
the
like this.
Middle of the Night.
Yes. But they came after the first albums, like later on, a bit like ambient stuff, IDM or what is it?
Oh no, that was the wrong.
Stop.
I was supposed to have like this from Mr. Velcro Fastener.
Yeah.
But even if you can only see 2 persons on this stream, there's a third person that is really important. It's Kristoffer Lisleg. and that is doing the audio visuals. And maybe we could have the notator from the slideshow. This one.
Yes, that was the very first, and it's actually like early version of Cubase, you could say. Steinberg Pro 24. It has 24 MIDI channels, and we maybe used up to 10 at maximum.
That's what you used to for the first.
First. Yeah. We had Tatu had got like a Roland S10 sampler and MT32.
MT32.
Yeah, the amazing general MIDI module.
Yeah. I actually just saw a long YouTube video about the MT32, about the cumbersome quest to get great sound from the PCs.
We didn't get any good sounds, but we tried.
Yeah.
And with this
I have a
sequencer.
CM64 actually, is a later version of the
yes.
of the For those who don't know what this is, it's a MIDI module that you can use to play games on a PC. So, and you can also send MIDI from the keyboard. So it has all these. It isn't even a general MIDI module.
It was pre-general MIDI.
It's pre-general MIDI.
But something like this, it has like.
General MIDI reporting for duty. It's but it sounds. It sounds kind of now. It sounds maybe crappy and very sequenced. But by the time, we must remember that people had the PC speaker was going beep 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 when they played games. And it has stereo sound. And it has like 16 multi-timbral.
Something like this.
Something like this. So it's like.
Or maybe 32 because it's MT32. Multi-timbral 32.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, wow, that's the name of the synthesizer. What is it?
Yeah, maybe, but it's a long way from the PC speaker. It sounds like a real
giant
orchestra.
leap. And then there was also the Yamaha OPL or something like this that was kind of a competitor to those, which was like a sound card with FM synthesis, which became also like a cult thing later on. The chip of the Yamaha,
the
OPL chip.
Yeah, it's but it's also it sounds really. I think I've seen some of those videos where they play games with the different sounds, like Monkey Island and the old 90s games, and they have like the Sound Blaster was the biggest one, and then they have the OPL.
Yeah,
I think even some of the Sound Blasters had the OPL, but it's you can hear the same. Game soundtrack, but with different sounds.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes with even now we are digging really deep into the Roland MT32, but even with this, sometimes you get the wrong sounds, and sometimes you get the MT32 to try to emulate FM synthesis, which all sounds really. But you actually use it to make music. That's cool.
Yeah.
Did it survive any? Yeah, you said it was released. Some of this.
Maybe not those, because these we were using that at home. Because he got this old Atari and since in Turku to use, but then when we traveled to the studio up north, there we had more instruments and better sounds. So some of those probably I don't really exactly remember where every track was made, but that was like 95, something like this.
But this cassette is.
This one, it's
maybe I switch the cassette and you can tell a little bit about the.
I can tell you.
Yeah.
This is a replica of some tapes. You can see here actually a picture of the tapes. Maybe there. Different kind of tapes that I was making. You see, like it's edition of 39 or edition of what is it? Same maybe 32. Not so many copies, and I was selling it to friends on the Turku nights. But this one is from a label in California called, I don't know how you call it, Kudigi Records or Kuchigi Records, something like this. He wanted to make something because I released those tracks from cassettes on Bandcamp, and he was like, "Hey, can we make another tape of those old tapes?" And it's a compilation now, this one, but it looks similar. We used the cover from one of the first tapes, and those don't exist even in Discogs because it's like so limited, like 20
Yeah.
copies or 30 copies, something like
It
this.
sounds like the start of Metronomicon Audio.
Yeah.
Is in the parallel Finnish electro universe.
Yeah.
You were selling the tapes direct to people at night, so or
Yeah,
club
yeah,
nights,
yeah.
club events.
Yeah, and there is some earliest recordings even from 32, but they're very ambient, made with like old S01 synthesizer, which I borrowed that summer from a family friend. But also some of the tapes that I was making while Mr. Velcro Fastener was taking the first steps towards electro. I had so much urge to make music, so I borrowed some of my friends' instruments like 303 and 606 and stuff like this for a couple of weeks, and then I tried to make as much as music as I could, because I had to give the instruments back.
Yeah.
So these were like happening at the same time as we were also making the first Mr. Velcro Fastener album, released 25 years ago to this year. So it's
Really?
99. So
99,
this was
yeah.
happening at the same time, but in a bit more, I cannot say more underground way, but still.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because when very soon we should have a little listen to. I'll just say something about this is the elusive Mesak tapes, right? You've been talking about. When I got to know you, maybe a long time ago, you said like, "Oh, I have all these tapes in the drawer that I don't know what to do with." The Mesak tapes. So this is the elusive Mesak tapes, but now they are available.
Yeah, this is like 10% of.
10% of the,
but it's also the best 10%, so I wouldn't play the other.
No,
90%
my personal opinion was I was listening this release when it was on Bandcamp, and I was more or less like, it's something, except maybe the sound is a little lo-fi. It's something that you could release today, and it would still go as a
surprisingly good. And it's like when you're young, you have enthusiasm, and you can even program like difficult FM synthesis very precisely that you don't do anymore today because it's too difficult.
Talk for yourself.
Yes.
I didn't even know what FM synth was back in that.
Yeah, but still, like then something happens there, and.
But it's amazingly good productions for being like a kid messing around in Turku.
In the bedroom, yeah.
In the bedroom. Maybe we should have a track.
Yep.
Did you rewind it?
I think this is the correct track.
This sounds really, really amazing.
I'm amazed.
Which, yeah, now it's actually stopped. So, which year was this?
Something like 97-ish,
Yeah,
96.
it's really. You could actually fool people about.
Yeah.
About saying it was new. It's been so much of this retro throwback rave thing in the club scene lately.
I missed the opportunity now, but next.
Yeah, if you find more
Next
good
batch,
tapes,
yeah.
if you say, it's a new album and you just remaster it,
Yeah.
and some ozone and stuff, and it's like it's. But if you are really good at reading, we are giving away a download code.
Take this one.
And we are actually, if you can, we
First, fastest gets the free
liten A,
download.
liten J, firetall, and we also can put the link in the. I can put the link in the comments for so you can check out this release. And this is leading us into my next question for you, Tatu. And it's always been a mystery to me. Why is there so much electro music in Finland?
It's a good question, of course. I don't have the exact answer, but for my case, it happened to be that when I was a teenager, there was a quite active group of people, which also included Pansonic people doing parties and concerts and
Ja, Pansonic with Mika Vainen
and Ilpo Väisänen and also Tommy from Sähkö Records. He was in a lot of other very influential people. So that built a very good base for Turku, electronic music from Turku.
They are all from Turku, all these.
Well, they was
Mika Vainen from Turku.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I didn't know. Yeah, interesting.
And there was a lot of stuff happening when I was also not fully aged to go all these parties. But luckily I managed to get some of that. And it inspired me, of course, very much. What it comes to Helsinki and other cities, I'm not so sure, but probably the whole thing from Sähkö Records influenced a lot of other cities also. But of course, there was a lot of house and techno DJs and producers, but electro somehow, I cannot say that we started or anything, but Mr. Velcro Fastener was one of the first that was really releasing internationally proper electro. When we talk of electro, it's like this, I don't know if we have any, you know, this Miami bass or...
I know that.
Yeah, you know.
Electro music as in house, opposite to... as
not straight beat, with
opposition to house and techno.
Yes.
With like this...
Yes,
like
yes,
this Miami
exactly.
bass.
Yeah. So this started happening at the late of 90s, but also before that, like I said, there was already very good electronic music scene. So, and then there came Imatra Voima later on. There's still the things are happening still today, like Morphology and all
yeah,
this.
Morphology
so it's
is a great
stretching
band.
out. Yeah. So it's like this.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know why in Finland, and it's been quite high quality also always, I think. Like with DJs, with producers, all this, for a relatively small nation, and somehow the clubs have been also usually quite good.
But there is a specific. Would you say there is a specific sound to the? I would say so, but would you say there is a specific sound to the Finnish electro as a contrast to the American?
Yeah, maybe, but it's hard to define what's the difference, at least today, because also historically, no, I don't know. I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel I could hear it. Like
Yeah,
some of this Finnish electro. I could hear it. This is so Finnish.
Right.
But I can't like sit. I can pinpoint it at the same way as I could do with the.
Well, if you think of Imatra Voima, for example, where Perttu used to play, or it was his band, so it was very very much him. And if you know the person, you know it's like Finnish guy drinking Jallu. Do we have a picture of Jallu here? And like, you know, it's very
in the sauna.
It's
a little macho, maybe macho culture in the.
A little bit like you smell the guitars in a way, even if you don't hear them. But it's very different than other bands. Like Morphology, for example, is really clean and polished and like
well produced.
Well produced and
but
Velcro
it still has the Finnish. Oh, sorry.
Maybe.
It still has, for me, it still has a Finnish edge, which. Personally, I think it's the weight like of the like subs and synths and huge, maybe not masculine but like huge sound. I think some of this Finnish electro is more heavy in a way. I would say. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
there's probably
again like Pansonic was something quite crazy at its time when it came first out. It was famous for being like. Very minimalistic and rough.
Raw and analog.
Raw and analog. So maybe that was also kind of like one step further than.
It's a Finnish sound, I think. It's leading us into the next track that we will play. We will talk a bit more about the raw and analog later on when we continue. Which side is this supposed to be, Tati?
You should put A side. I don't know if it's right.
What is A side?
It's with the number side.
The A side is with the number. And I should put it down.
Put the right way.
The right way. Yes. And we listen to a track that is called.
There's a name. It's called A plus B, and this one, I can tell you quickly. I talk maybe too much, but this is a talk show, isn't it?
It's a talk show.
So
I could have a little bit in the background.
Cycle of 12. This was actually released on a Croatian label, Ghost Technology, 12 years ago, and it had tracks from 12 years before to 2000 to 2007, something like this.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like now it was time to put it again because it was another 12 years. But this is one of the oldest tracks. It was kind of like a compilation of stuff that was left in a drawer, which were not necessarily bad at all. But I hadn't found any place for them, and so they wanted to release it. And now I thought, like, because it was not available as digital or cassette anymore,
now is the time.
Yeah, now it's time to put it again. And this was really recorded in 2000. Something like Finnish electronic sound again.
Yeah, let's have some Finnish electronic sound and listen. Sounds really good. I'm actually letting it go in the background
Yeah.
a little bit. To me, this sounds like Swedish techno.
Okay.
Or electro ish. I got the Swede vibe from this.
I have problem of making a minimalistic track, and this is one of the most minimalistic tracks that I've made, because I always have to add or do some tricks or something. And if I want to make like a long ambient track, I cannot, because I have to like tweak and mix and.
I think you can do.
I would love to make like a half
tracks,
an hour drone track, but I just go and fuck it up with.
It's very hard actually.
It's very hard, yeah.
It's much harder than people think. Making over-arranged IDM is the hardest thing. Okay, that's also hard, but I think one of the hardest things being an electronic music producer is to like keep it down, like not
like Elian Radig.
Yeah, Elian Radig.
Yeah.
Did you hear the Elian Radig with the beats?
No.
It was on YouTube. It was.
It's a mashup.
Yeah, it's a mashup.
Okay.
Was it reggaeton? Elian Radig reggaeton.
No.
3 hours.
No.
They just like put.
No.
There's this.
No,
but it actually works.
Alright.
It works really well.
Yeah.
It's this amazing American artist that I can't remember the name of. I would, if I can find it, I would put it in the comments of the video.
Is there some comments, by the way, in the chat?
Yeah, let's see.
I, or is it R-E-R-E?
I think it's I think he thinks we are very intelligent.
Not that intelligent, but artificial. Husk att komma på Hærverk ikväll. Ja, everyone in town, please join the concert. Actually, I'm playing live tonight.
I was supposed to ask about that later, but we could say that he is playing tonight, and I think Viviana was wondering when are you on stage and who is on stage and what's going on.
Yeah, it's Juhani Oivo, DJ from Oulu, and he's representing the Oulu Music Video Festival at the same time. It's interesting, go check it out. They have massive archives of Finnish music videos there. But he's doing a DJ set before and after, and I play live at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, so Viviana, be there at 1 o'clock.
Hey, hello from Pyloris.
Pyloris, Pyloris in the chat.
Nice,
yeah, I
nice
love
to
your
meet
stuff.
you.
You're such a great producer. Talking about good Finnish music, we have Pyloris in the chat. That's amazing.
Pyloris in the and he's known also as a Skweee producer. Maybe wanted to jump into the.
He wanted to jump in.
No,
but
you wanted to jump into Skweee.
I wanted to also to jump into the Skweee movement when it came along. So now it's a good time to ask the question.
That's what I meant.
What is what's Skweee? What is that?
Yeah. Maybe it's the Wikipedia answer I'm giving, but what happened to me was that we had been playing with Mr. Velcro, for example, for a few years already, traveling around, and I was kind of hoping to find something new, fresh music to get interested of, or I don't know. I was looking for something new.
When was this?
Early 2000, 2004, something like this.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of records which I really liked. This kind of like, can you say IDM?
You can say IDM.
But slower, beatsy, bit like jagged music. But they were all very melancholic type.
Yeah.
Like. For example, one label was called Delicatessen. They had these 10-inch records, and I was really feeling it. But they were kind of like impossible to play in DJ sets because it was so like sad and like melancholic. I really liked it, but the tempo was good. It was. But
that's the intelligent in the intelligent dance music. You're not supposed to do dance. Dance. You should listen.
Yeah, you can also dance. But anyway, I like the down-tempo attitude and the sounds, and there was a lot of like this, I think it was kind of when VST effects started coming, and there was a lot of like glitchy thing and stuff. Anyway, then I came to to Snickers Records in Stockholm.
Yeah.
And this guy, he's a Finnish guy who was working there, and he was like kind of suddenly, like I think it was him, or I was asking, there was this 10-inch record, Pove, it's the name of the record. What is this? And okay, it's from Stockholm. And then I listened to it, and it was really good. And I bought it, and later I met this man, who is called later Pavan, Frans Kakvist. And I got 7-inch records that he just put out. I don't remember exactly which was the like actual timeline of this.
No, it's the Flogstad Dansehall label.
Flogstad Dansehall label, but maybe even before that
7
we
inches,
met him in Ecofest in Bergen.
Yeah.
And then he was playing this his thing.
Yeah.
And me and Klaus Kusto, my friend Olli, moi osat siellä linjoilla, we heard this concert and we were totally like blown away. And then we somehow met Frans few times. We played in Stockholm often then, and we met him. And I talked with Perttu from Imatra Voima, rest in peace.
Yes.
I talked with him, and he had also met Frans in Ecofest and in Stockholm, a different Echo. I think Frans was like a regular these times. He was playing every year there.
Yeah. In Bergen?
Yeah, in Ecofest.
So Bergen was the first Skweee we had in
Virgins
of
Bergen.
They were Virgins of Bergen.
Yeah.
They were kind of beating us to it actually by a few years.
Yeah. But this was the thing, and then then we had this 7 inches from France.
Flogstad also.
Flogstad. Do you have any Flogstad?
There's Flogstad
I can show him.
Yeah, there is a Flogstad on the actual record player. Here there is a
Flogstad Dansehall.
Represent Flogstad Dansehall.
It's the number one, and it's maybe the best. I don't know. There's a lot of good ones.
All of them are really good, and it's very fun because I had the exact same reaction as you did. Only maybe a couple of years later, maybe 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
I was hearing Pavan and Easy, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe Easy didn't play, but I was hearing Pavan at Sound of Mu at the point that I was kind of growing tired of the super serious electronic music, and I was hearing this funky, weird sound of Pavan, and I was like, I've never heard anything like this.
Exactly, and this is what you said, like the rules or the boring boundaries. What we've been playing electro, and people were always like, yeah, this is good, and it has to have the snare here always, and it has to be like sounding like this, and then it works. Or you have to have 808, otherwise it's not music. Or even worse with house and techno. Yeah, it was very like strict, and that I wanted to kind of get rid of this, like do something else.
Yeah.
And this was the key. And when I heard it, and when we met with Perttu, and we had like, hey, what the fuck? They have made this in Sweden. We cannot be lesser than Swedes. We have to have our own label. And then we decided to release. I can show this also. This is the Harmönia number 2.
Maybe we should actually go a little bit out of the plan and actually play Pavan track first.
We definitely have to play that
because
first.
just to give him some homage, because I think this there's no living producer that can make so good beats out of so little sound.
Yeah,
than Pavan. He's like super
minimalistic,
but in
groovy.
In a fun way.
Yeah.
There's not even a kick sometimes. There's not even a snare sometimes. But
and it's actually defining the music style so better than explaining it.
Yeah, maybe we should give it a little spin.
Yes.
Which track is this?
Punt kick. Crank up.
Crank up.
The B-side is better.
Yeah. Oh,
sorry.
Rewind.
Sorry.
That's good. It's we have time for Squeee in the talk show. Should be on all talk shows. This is Pavan in the background.
Yeah.
It's Flockstad Classic on 7-inch. I think at the gig I was saying I want all the 7-inches you have. I want to buy. He was.
Right.
You have a. He was having a table with 7-inches, and I said, let's have all of them. They were cheap, and but they were super cool.
Yeah, he had also. Franz had this like philosophy that it has to be like punky, like cheap, like Volks music.
Like this?
Yeah, not just like, but also the price. Like we don't take profit. We just get rid of the records, and so that it spreads.
The Kjørebotten.
Yeah, wow. That's the falling.
The boat is leaving the boat is leaving for where?
West
what are we saying?
Harbor. It's going to Estonia now from west side of the city center of Helsinki.
It's not a Skweee boat that is going to Stockholm.
Nope.
No.
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 Yeah, but.
Yeah, nice. We have a question from the chat.
Yes.
Here, Zone Man.
It's not a question.
Can you read the top one of them?
What any great your work? Any references in dark ambient? Not with Skweee.
It's a kind of opposite. But some of your other stuff, or some of your modular stuff is darker.
Could be dark ambient, but not with Skweee. No.
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 But
so we were saying about we with Perttu we decided that we have to have a Skweee label because there was already Flockstad and it was great.
Yeah.
We didn't want to be any lesser, so we wanted to release, put up our own label, and Perttu actually he had already tracks that he wanted to release. He had been sending demos to Klaxon Records that I was actually releasing electro on.
Now, even
now, but then back then already my first solo
we
stuff.
are now talking about the legendary
Randy Barracuda.
Randy Barracuda. Yeah.
So he had been sending demos there, but they were like, oh, it's really good music, but you should put like a straight beat that people can dance to it.
They were so wrong.
They were so wrong, and then Perttu said like, okay, well, I have my 7-inch here. Do you have anything? So we can press the first two 7-inches at the same time. So I made the new tracks in a couple of weeks, and we mastered it and sent to pressing.
Mastered it.
But then the problem, we had to make up a label name and all this. We came up in really fast pace. But then Daniel Savio and Franz, they were playing in Finland, and we were waiting for the records to come out from the press or something like this. And we wanted to start promoting that in like very low scale style, but still we wanted to promote, and he was like, okay, what should we call it, because this is something new. And there in Turku in this cafe we were having meatballs and mashed potatoes. Daniel said that he had this idea of calling it Skweee because it's like, squeezed out of very small elements.
Squeezed out of the synthesizer.
Yeah.
We should actually have had the Skweee tube in the background.
We don't have the tube anywhere.
But we don't have the tube anywhere.
But you can Google it.
We can Google the tube for maybe the next for after the next question.
So
But
for
who
this
decided?
for these records,
Yeah.
then Perttu just wrote this press release that we call it Squeee with 3 E's. That he added one more, so to make it even more difficult for everyone. And some people loved it, some people hated it, but it became like a success of.
But it's
other
been
brands.
people are like actually even resisting the thought that it exists.
Yes.
They say it's just electrofunk.
Yeah.
It's just electro. It's just low, even down tempo. People
Yeah.
have been calling our music.
Yeah, but it's also true in a way, because when we started releasing and promoting and touring and playing, there was also MySpace at that time.
Yeah.
You know, which was interesting in the beginning.
Yeah.
And through that we started digging and finding more artists that, hey, this sounds like Squeee. We
Yeah.
can add it or ask or something or relate.
Yeah.
And suddenly it was already existing, probably more or less.
Squeee exists.
Yeah.
Hashtag Squeee exists.
Yeah.
I would say.
But then
Even
when
as
we
it's a small
put this like tag on it, and then it expanded. But
But when I
Yeah.
was getting into the Squeee movement, maybe 2007, 2006,
Yeah.
with first I heard the Pavan and then Jon in
Easy.
Easy
Yeah.
in Oslo. He was like, come down to the studio, let's make some Squeee.
yeah,
And then there even was this Norwegian guys doing it already, like Melkeveien, Beat Bully, Sprutbass.
not that early maybe.
Not that early, maybe,
but
later.
I think the Easy and Franz met in Stockholm by a Masselus concert. I think.
Yeah.
That's where they connected, if I understood correctly. But so Franz has been really like the core or the seed of the.
Yeah, and Daniel Savio also.
Yeah,
is
sure,
like also,
yeah.
but and Juksaren, because there was this plethora of artists, artists that I still like, and most have kind of evolved and gone past the
Yeah.
Squeeze sound that was really stripped down, like your project, the Auto Siba. You can hear it in the beats.
Yeah, we started from there. In a way, it was like the direct following of Squeee, kind of added a little bit different elements, but then it started living its own life again as a band, like or a musical style in a way.
Because
but
people
we
would say, like Auto Siba, people would label it hip hop, but you can't label it electro. I would
No.
label it. Talking about Juksaren, which is one of my all-time favorite producers.
Yeah.
He was starting, and me and Jon, Easy and the Center of the Universe, we were starting to hear the Eastern elements, the Arabic music in the Squeee.
Yeah, but also Franz.
Franz also, it was there before.
Yeah, he had it there on the Flogstar #4 maybe.
It already was there in the sound.
Uyuday.
Yeah,
There was
Uday.
something there.
It's named after the son of Saddam Hussein, isn't it? Uday Napoleon.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
Uday is the. But it was already there. But we were starting like bombing it with like Saz and Turkish
Somehow
music.
it also fits in very nicely as like as an element.
It has the same tempo.
Yeah.
This music has the same
Yeah.
tempo, and also Juksaren, and also Auto Siba has this what I would now call European music as a subgenre. It's
Yeah.
like Oriental Squeee or European music.
yeah,
That
yeah.
Juksaren labels it. It's like a Squeee, Manuele, electro, Balkan.
Yeah.
It's like this continuation which would never have existed without.
Yeah.
I think that's still a thing going on, maybe more than the
Yeah,
hardcore
yes,
Squeee.
yeah. And there's a lot of like continuity in the. Even if Squeee kind of like quietly got less, but there's a lot of something existing of that. And
It has a really nice core that was kind of giving a lot to different producers, and there's
Yeah.
still new stuff that I hear like this is is influenced. We should have some more hardcore Squeee before we talk about.
Okay, we put this on.
Shout out to Windy in the chat. I still remember when Mesak friended me on MySpace.
I don't remember that, but MySpace was ace at its time.
Yeah, what's the new MySpace? Mastodon is maybe now there are so many social media. This is like in the Squeee area. I was even finding people in the United States and France, like the Mazout label and.
Yeah, Yeah. The Masut people were one of the first that I met abroad.
Yeah.
In like physical form.
Yeah, in physical form.
Yeah.
So it was actually not a huge movement, but a really nice, interesting subgenre.
It connected people all around, and even through to China, states to China, like everything. Like it was very global, as very small.
Very small. Who
but
was this
global.
Chinese and even some Japanese guys into this? Who were they?
Shitaraba.
Shitaraba.
I know,
Chinese?
there was no, that was Japanese.
Japanese, yeah.
In China, they were American mostly, but also I think they had some local, more local.
That's interesting. I wish, like, for a parallel universe, I wish Skweee was blowing up in China. Yeah. So it maybe like in the Far East in general. So we have
pie chart.
It also have this like in a pie chart. Yeah,
maybe
like
apple pie would be something.
We will hear a super
Let's
hardcore Skweee
do that
example,
first.
But first I will say something.
Okay. Yeah.
You're talking about dubstep and grime.
Yeah.
And they also have this like weird subgenre of grime that is called Sino-grime, which is like Chinese or like Far East grime.
Yeah.
With like a lot of bells and whistles and
Right.
harps and like so that's like Sino-grime is the closest you get to Skweee maybe and
Oh, it must be good.
yeah, it's really good. There's also
But that's another chat.
that's another chat. Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
What track is this?
It's Harmönia number 2. That side, this side, Sony.
Yeah, listen for the synth.
can
Yes,
show it.
statue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we are going really high tech with showing, with
Just a
breaking
big
this track
picture,
down.
maybe.
It's a Skweee masterpiece. It's one of my favorite tracks. This is a synth, apparently.
I didn't find a picture of the finished, but it's inside. It's like this. It's a MIDI box SID, mostly in action. Yeah.
That means it's the heart of the sound chip
Commodore
of the Commodore
64,
64
yes,
in a physical synthesizer. So
Yeah.
break down this track a little bit. What's the different sounds? I always love this track. It's one of my favorites.
Like I said, I had built this MIDI box
Yeah.
SID, and I wanted to use that, and it was like main stuff going on from there.
Yeah.
The beat was somehow partly sampled from ultramagnetic MCs. I don't remember which track, and also there was a sample of a simple Sony drum pad called the Sony DRP1.
That's what
we
it's
had
called.
this sample of kids shouting Sony. That's why it's called Sony.
I always thought it was saying like Mesak in the.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's my ear.
This looks like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds. But first of all, I think the lead synth is the most squee sound ever. What's that?
At the end, towards the end, it's the
Yeah.
DX100, like the classic
Seriously?
FM synth. Yes, a preset sound, but I don't remember what was the name of this instrument.
We should find out. I will find out. It's an amazing track.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's Squeee in its most purest form. I wish there was more music. Hope for a
Well,
revival. With more
Yeah,
music
that
like
was
this.
like fun when you kind of like got rid of all the rules before, like we were talking of that.
Yeah.
And then you made your first squee track, and you have no idea what you're doing, but you're having fun in the studio.
Yeah.
After 15 years of trying to make something, and then you come to this pure electro, and then you want to get back to this early stage when you were trying out stuff that you don't know what they are, like instruments and studio equipment. And this is kind of Squeee got me back to the, to the square one.
Yeah.
For a while, but then afterwards it was like, then you already knew how to make it, and it got a bit like kind of tiring, and like there was a lot of talk of Squeee all the time. Like it was, for me originally it was like this, to make something good, nice music, to play out music, and then it got like the more kind of publicity they were always like, what is Squeee and how it is, and what's the like the and then it got a bit boring, and we were playing already almost 10 years everywhere, and then I wanted to again do something else.
Yeah, but it never actually blew up. But it became like maybe too much of the same. But I think it's a feeling that you can. It's something, regardless of the genre. It's something you can do again. You can go back to like just like making chaos and doing something in the studio, and then that's how new genres or subgenres.
Yeah, and I've been, for example, I've been more into noise and stuff like that. I didn't used to listen back then, but like kind of now it's it was one door.
It's a healthy development.
Yeah.
Maybe we should move to the next question, which is the evil question that we ask all music producers. It's in English. Yeah, you know what it is in English.
How is it going with the new record? There's a nice picture in the background, by the way. It's very central Helsinki, even if it doesn't look like that. Yes, it's been a struggle with the new record. You know, I don't know if you had it, but I had like kind of writer's block when this Corona started.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no? Okay, but
for me it was the other way around.
Yeah, it started a bit before even, but when the Corona came, I was like, okay, now I really don't kind of feel for making music, because I have I was already in this another post Squeee ditch, like what to do next.
Yeah.
So I made some electro in between, but I kind of was not sure if I want to make more of the same record. I wanted, So
because you more or less, after the Squeee
kind of
takeoff, you return to more basic electro, classic electro,
Yeah.
also really nice.
Sort of, yes. And then
Sorry.
Flight mode, please.
Flight mode, please. Yeah.
And then, yeah. Yeah. And in the meantime, we made a couple of Ronskibitti records. I don't know if we listen to it now, but here's one.
We can have in the background when it's open.
Yeah. And also, of course, Tosiba, we finished the album last year, or it was released last year. We finished it late 2022, maybe. And these were like kind of something that of course, I do a lot of projects all the time, but solo stuff was a bit difficult.
Yeah.
But now, I have maybe soon something ready.
Yeah.
I made this last summer. There was this festival called Epicset in northern Finland, or maybe geographically kind of halfway, but still north. And it was kind of, it was almost the fire festival of Finland, of underground music. But you can Google Epicset. Anyway, it was amazing, and I had really good time. But for that gig, I made this like background tape.
Yeah.
Like a backing track.
Yeah.
And it was made of using elements of these kind of lot of tapes in the drawer, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Not maybe this, but there was like a lot of these tapes. I don't know, these kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Still in the drawers, and I was using elements from that to make this like dub track or backing track for the concert.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking like, this sounds actually quite cool, but I didn't want to make tracks of these songs that I played in the party, because it was kind of dance music. I wanted to make something else, and this backing track was kind of the. It's very abstract to talk about it.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to understand. But then I started like making edits of this backing track. So it's kind of like sampling your own music to make something, and then sampling it again, like three times sampled maybe. And but I still don't know what kind of output it will be.
No.
But it's almost finished in a way.
This is easier to. I like Ronskibitti, but this is easier to have in the background.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's
they're
like
shouting.
super. Shout out to Ronskibitti. It's the Ronskibitti of Ronskibitti of Finland. Shout out! It's amazing Finnish hip hop, but it's too rough to have in the background.
No, they're shouting all the time.
To try to focus on what you.
It's released on another label that I am working with, called Huge Bass, and it was made for bootlegs and weird stuff first, but then we released Ronskibitti in 2000, maybe 3, 4, the first 2000, yeah. So 20 years, what does it mean? 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I've been releasing different stuff, like for example the last Tosiba album was on Huge Bass as well.
Yeah, that's that is just your label.
It's like, it's like just for anything or everything that I do.
It's not a high-profile label with
no,
it's workers.
Yeah, it's even more underground than Harmönia.
Harmönia. But Harmönia was you and
Perttu Häkkinen, yes.
Perttu Häkkinen, which sadly passed away.
Yes, we did it for 10 years, and we had almost 30 releases.
And among them is some of the greatest Skweee albums, I would say, the international Skweee.
Or compilations.
Compilations, nice compilations. Got to catch them all.
Yeah.
And me and Jon.
You debuted here.
We debuted, I think, like you say, Easy on the center of the universe here on side.
Was it Hamada? No.
Hamada, yeah. And
Nice.
Rabbi Bananas. Motem is even on here. Sloan Motem, he's called Motem. Daniel Savio.
Daniel Savio, hello Daniel.
Hey Daniel. Just love Bankers United from France. Beam, which I really like, within Napoleon.
Now when we started talking about it, I can maybe give, because there's not many people listening, I can give you a secret.
Yeah.
Next record is a Daniel Savio album.
On Huge Bass.
On Huge Bass,
Amazing.
released in April, but stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Yeah, Daniel Savio, for those who don't know, is he's the only DJ in Sweden, I would say. There's only one DJ in Sweden,
One and only. Daniel
and
Savio.
and that's Daniel Savio.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Finnish,
Yeah.
Finnish talking. He is the only Swedish DJ. Amazing dude, and also an amazing producer.
Yeah, and very like a key producer, not only in Skweee but also making disco edits, but also electro. He has really huge catalog.
Yeah, and also it's called hip hop. The latest. He is also one of those guys that have taken it back to the basics and hip hop and breaking and spray cans.
Totally, yeah.
And, but still, a lot of his stuff is super good. Yeah, we should move on. A little reminder what's going on tonight. We are.
You have 2 pages. I only had one.
I did because I can't see too much.
Yeah.
Sadly, it's 2 different things going on tonight, so I can't see your show because I'm DJing at Tuva Språkklubb, which already a full house, but where Yato Siba performed last year.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So we don't have to talk too much about that. It's probably going to be nice. But tonight, Tatu is performing at Café Hærverk.
Yeah.
And a little reminder to get people there. What's going on?
Come.
Yeah, come. It's Johan Oivo and Mesak. Not a DJ set. It's a live set.
It's a live set. Yes.
Yeah, and I heard back from the guy that was supposed to borrow you a pulsar.
Right.
His family was ill when he came from abroad with omgangssyke, so he I should say hi from him.
Next time.
He's trapped at home.
Yeah, but no worries. I'm full packed.
You're full packed. Yeah. So catch him. And the last questions before we sign off is what projects are you working on?
Well,
you already said a little bit.
I said something, but
album.
we make this was a trilogy for Ronskibitti, like we started a couple of years ago. We made we've released plenty of albums with Ronskibitti, but a sort of trilogy. I don't know how to explain this. But next week we have a studio session for a third in a row of kind of like session tapes that we make at Klaus Cousteau's cabin. We go to this cabin for 2 nights and we record as much as we can, and then we have an album. And so we do it like a 3rd time in a row now next weekend, and then of course we are working on new Yato Siba stuff.
Really already?
Of course.
It took like 5 years between, maybe even more.
You have to start early to make it done.
Yeah, between the first and second Yato Siba album was how many years? It was quite a long time.
It was exactly 6 years.
But it was worth waiting for the...
Yes. Yeah. And also, like I said, I have this weird backing track on Works, but also we kind of return with Mr. Velcro Fastener, at least for one concert. We play in Flow Festival this year at this kind of 25-year jubileum of the first album. Yeah, you feel old when you say it a lot, but it's okay.
Feel old yet. Remember Tatu, remember Mesak, feel old yet. Yeah.
But also maybe we release something at
You don't feel old when you release, like if you have a look at your Discogs, you shouldn't feel that old. It's
no.
It's one of the few producers that's put out more music than me.
Is it real? Is it true?
I'm not sure. We
so.
could have a competition. We could have a battle on Discogs.
Discos battle.
Discogs, yeah. But before we're rounding off, I have to just have a little gift and repeat the success.
Yes.
You should take this out.
Nice.
Did you get?
What is it? The long player.
Yeah, take it out.
Yes. Which one should we listen to?
You don't have to. Maybe we could have a quick listen to one of the tracks. But you actually, first of all, you have to look at it because it looks.
I don't see it actually. Where is it now?
Really good, actually, on the stream.
It disappeared. I just had it in my hands.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. There's only the label.
Right. Okay.
But maybe I didn't plan to play a track, but if you should play a track,
you have to admit that you only chose this color to have a green screen.
No, I didn't think of it until I gave it to Captain Credible last.
Okay.
But maybe we should have the Easter eggs, a little bit of the Easter eggs before we kind of sign off.
Okay, I can choose the track by tempo.
Yeah, choose
because
a track by
there's
track.
apparently there's BPM marked on the
Of course there's BPM.
names, which it's a good idea actually.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want to do that?
Which way? And we choose not 200, 105. The B4. It's a good. Daniel always said that 106 is the perfect squeee tempo. So
Yeah, it is. It's now I don't know which track this is.
let's go.
It's let's go. Yeah, it's more of a. This is B4. It's not let's go.
Aye.
This is the B4. It's,
I always put the text side A side,
Yeah.
and a lot of people make the picture side A side.
Can you see the needle there?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
this, it's. Is there a rule?
No, there isn't.
That's why it's confusing.
Yeah, it's
Because
confusing.
I prefer the
side.
text on A side.
But I think Espen Flyvlag, the designer of this, he wanted the illustration to be on the A side.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's his illustration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks good when it's spinning around.
Yeah.
It looks.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Let's
a
go.
little bit of let's go. This is not. This is more Italo than Skweee though.
It's 105.
805, yeah. Yeah, this track is taking forever to start. It's from the long player, the latest Center of the Universe that I hand out to people. And
That's why it's long player.
it's a long player. Yeah, that it's supposed to be like that. Both because I have long COVID and it's just long tracks that it just continues like a stream.
Yeah.
And tonight I have Tatu, aka Mesak, with me, and Lislegård on the camera. Shout out. Amazing audio visuals. We have a Finnish night. We see Finland in the background. And the last questions for tonight is how is life and the music scene in Finland?
Life.
Or how is the
and-
music scene in
yeah.
Finland? How are you? Yeah. What's going on now? And is there any bands or DJs, Finnish DJs and bands we should look out for, except for your stuff?
No, the life is good and music scene is apparently good, but like at this age you don't go to every party anymore. So also I kind of fall out from the most cutting edge
yeah.
acts maybe.
So there
But we were talking of electro, a Finnish artist with Gabriel from Hærverk yesterday.
Yeah.
And one name that we were talking of was Zanzibar, who is like he's a guy doing electro, not only electro, but really like kind of talented guy traveling around a lot. So it's one name to check out.
Zanzibar, like the,
producing,
like the
yes,
city.
yes, producing and DJing and playing live and all this.
Nice.
And it's yes, probably more, but it's hard to pinpoint like suddenly like this. Like it's also kind of genre related.
So there's young people doing stuff that you don't know about.
Yeah,
even. Maybe in
that's kind of
Helsinki,
interesting and
it's,
scary also. But like, it would be fun to find out about this.
Yeah.
But it's so much DJs, so
Yeah.
it's like I'm more into like bands and not bands, but like producers or live gigs.
Live electronic music. More
Yeah,
than
yeah,
club
and
music.
lately the stuff that I go to see or manage to hear is more kind of like experimental or noisy, and it's very like underground often. So there's stuff going on.
Yeah, I think it's a healthy thing when you're getting a little grown up and have kids and stuff. Continue to go to gigs and stuff, but maybe don't a full-on rave every weekend.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe it's
of course.
okay.
Yeah, but it's interesting what's happening, and it's like, it's probably much to come. But yeah, right now cannot say anything more particular.
No,
Yeah.
we should look out for them. I was to round off maybe. Oh, there is a boat. To round off, I was
coming from Stockholm, I think.
Yeah, it's a Skweee boat.
It's probably the Skweee.
I was saying
Viking Line.
Viking Line.
Yeah.
I was thinking about possible like Skweee blowing up now, like going like cryptocurrencies. It goes down and then suddenly it goes back up.
We had this. Actually, we had this really good kind of like Skweee battle for after these many years.
Yeah.
We had it in Helsinki.
What's a Skweee battle? Just to
Skweee battle. We had also like this genre was quite crazy anyway. Like there was one particular style of playing live was to have a lot of bands or persons to perform at the same time and like kind of like battling one by one playing. And we had also this Landkamp, Finland versus Sweden, kind of who is better. We did it in Sonar Festival, for example, and so and now we had this like rotating one by one 6 people maybe playing in Helsinki, and also Franz was there and a lot of other people. And it was so much fun, and everyone was like, "Hey, we have to start doing this again."
Yeah, but that's cool. I think also regardless of genre, it's a really cool thing to do. I really like the Skweee sound, but I think you just set up everything, and then there is a battle between the different live electronic musicians.
Yeah.
Like everyone is on stage all the time, right? That's
more or less, yes. And
I remember we did this in Ilmio Festival in Finland when we were performing, and it was like I even had a keyboard at the wall at the point because there wasn't space.
There was
for
no
all
space.
the
You
stuff.
taped it with the so-called Jesus tape on the wall.
Jesus tape. Yeah, but that's an amazing tradition.
It's a lot of fun, and people, the crowd even hates it or loves it, and it can be like really irritating or super party, and like it can be anything, and that's the fun of it.
Yeah,
you never know.
The return of the, I would say maybe not the Skweee getting mainstream in 2024, but we will both have a thumbs up for the return of the Skweee battle.
Yes.
Yeah, Tatu, thank you so much for.
Thank you
for coming, and see you next time.
See you.
See you.
See you tonight.
See you tonight.